A good man is so hard to find. Oh, well, actually, a hard man is so good to find. Shout out to TLC. Hello, hello, bonjour, my people. How are you doing? This is Lily, and I am, maybe you don't know yet, but I am your favorite transsexual Caribbean auntie from the internet and, the podcast and stuff. How are you doing? Um, welcome. Welcome to this fine podcast, the FTN Podcast. That stands for Femme, Trans, and Noir, aka Black Trans Woman, baby. Today is July 2nd, which means I'm kind of late because I'm recording on the day of the release. So once I'm done recording, I'm like, I'm gonna rush and edit this to have it out by the regular date because I'm already doing this twice a month, so every other week. Um, I'd really prefer not to skip episodes. So I want to have things out on a regular basis for y'all, even if y'all is maybe like a small number of people for now, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're growing. And yeah, there are people from places I could not imagine. But hey, thank you. Thank you to everybody who's listening. And yeah, I would just like more feedback. I would just like more participation. Yeah, more people. Come on, don't be shy. And yeah, I mean, I'm not talking to the creepy guys who, no, not you. I'm talking to, well, specifically, I'm talking to black trans women and black trans people and black people. But yeah, I'd love more messages from y'all. So go to the website, and that's ftnpod.com, and contact me from there or wherever. Like, you get links in the show notes. So wherever you're listening to this, yeah, you have all the links down there to contact me. So do that. Let's get into some updates. So, well, really just one. That's just one. That's kind of important. In about 2 weeks, yes, 2 weeks from now, um, I'll be in the U.S. Um, if you have been with me from the beginning, yeah, February, I was supposed to be in Atlanta, and that did not happen. I still need to um, follow up on that thing about that racist bitch at the city hall to make sure that she doesn't work there anymore. I'm gonna need to um, you know go back to that because it's not, yeah, I'm not letting that go. But anyway, um yeah, this time, well, I have everything. I have the passport. I have, yeah, I mean, things are ready, and I'm going with my mom. Um, yeah, it's I'm 40, right? Um, just 40, just, and my mom is, getting up there in age, and I can see her like thinking about the after. You know what I mean? And it's like I can see her like working on projects working on things that she's gonna leave behind, and doing things also to enjoy herself, while not just enjoy herself, but like fill her life with things that matter to her. Um, and yes, and of course, enjoying herself in the process. But it really feels like not just like fun, but purpose. And like I've been observing that for maybe a couple of years. Yeah, maybe about 2 years, 2 3 years maybe. And this is actually going to be a part of that. And I like on one hand, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed because I had no intention of going now. That is like super expensive, really, and it's not like I'm on like I don't have like a whole bunch of cash. I'm I'm gonna have to sacrifice in order to make that happen. Um, and also, I was planning on actually like doing something with my friends, like at the end of the summer, which would have been less expensive, which would have been more like fun, twerking on the street and stuff you know, like Pride at Atlanta, um, like Black Pride at Atlanta or in Atlanta, whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah, I really wanted to do that, and so I'm not gonna be able to do both. Like, there's just no way. And yeah, so that feels a little heavy. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, I'm also like super excited to be doing this for my mom, like um, introducing her to new things. I'm gonna have her meet some people that I already know. I'm gonna have we're gonna spend some time in New Orleans. Um, yeah, so there's gonna be like food and culture and spirituality too. Um, so yeah, I'm like super excited and happy to be able to do that for her, and be a part of this of I don't know how to call it exactly, but whatever she's doing right now, where she feels that she's preparing for um or hmm, making things happen before she leaves this plane and leaving something behind her um, for whoever's coming next. And yeah, that's not weird, sad, or creepy. I think it's interesting, and it helps to bring more purpose to life. And yeah, so I'm glad I'm doing that for her. I'm really glad. So yeah, it's like the personal price that it is for me. Still, like, yeah, it's a bit tough for many reasons. It's a bit tough, and on the other hand, I feel like it's really worth it. Um, yeah, because if that can if that can bring her happiness, and I know that it will, then it's absolutely worth it. Absolutely. So yeah, that's the update. I'm gonna be in the US, like about the second half of July, pretty much. So there you go. Today, I really wanted to talk about something I actually don't even know how to name. The politics of selfishness, I guess, or self advocacy. No, that sounds too positive. Yeah, let's go with politics of selfishness or selfishness in advocacy work. But before we do that, though, do you have a spare coin or something? Like, if you have coin and I need coin, that's a perfect match. Like, you know what? If you don't have a coin, well, you can help with a share. Like, I really need those shares. I really need those 5 stars, and I really need those reviews, right? That would help me tremendously because the algorithm is not algorithming in my favor right now. Okay. I know IG is playing with me. TikTok is racist as hell, is like pro status quo, which means racist as hell, transphobic as hell. And yeah, your girl needs a boost. So do the free thing right now, please. And leave a review. Leave 5 stars. You know, share with a friend. And that would help greatly. But if you do have some coins, baby, you can go to ftnpod.com and there is a donate button at the top. Click on that and choose. Like, you can donate on Patreon. That's, you know, a little bit of coin every month. It starts at $2. Just $2, baby. And yeah, that supports me greatly. And if you don't want that, like if you don't want like any type of commitment, then you can do a one-time donation. That works too, and it's the same button. So yeah, thank you for your help, and yeah, I really really appreciate that. And again, like I'm really insisting, not just on the coins. I mean, I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna be mad at you if you send me some coins, but um, like it's really the free stuff is actually like super super helpful as well. So thank you very much for that. So I think I found a name to what I wanted to talk about. But let me preface this by saying that I do not claim to have invented any new concept. These are just ideas. It's just, things I think about when I have discussions with people or when I listen to other people speak. Um, so, yeah, so there might already be a term out there that I don't know about. And if you know what it is, then absolutely please feel free to send me a link. Send me the info. I'll love you for it because I want to learn. I wanted to talk about the politics of exclusion, and really I want to get into why and how it doesn't benefit us, marginalized people, and specifically Black queer folks, and even more specifically Black trans women. Because, like in the Western world, I'm not sure there's anybody that's lower on the hierarchy than Black trans women. The only person who can be lower than a Black trans woman would be a Black trans woman who is a lesbian, or a Black trans woman who is um, not cis assumed, who is disabled or fat or not considered to be desirable, like pretty. But it's not a different identity. It's just extra layers on an identity that's already hyper marginalized. So yeah, and I want to start by defining what I'm talking about when I say the politics of exclusion. I'm really thinking about within movements how the leaders of that movement tend to exclude a a part of the population who's supposed to be benefiting from the movement in order for just the leaders and people who are exactly like them to be the sole beneficiaries of whatever that movement may be bringing. That's a very general, you know, definition. But let me give you an example. Like what we talk when we talk about feminism, really what's in people's minds is white feminism or the feminism of white women. That is feminism that only um, brings benefits to white women who are like second on the hierarchy, on the social hierarchy, after cishet white men. Cishet white women want to fight to have the same rights, have the same privileges as cishet white men, and discard everybody else. You know, they might include um, cis lesbians, but you know, cis het black women. No, that's no, not today. No, we're not doing that. Um, yeah, that's that's what I'm talking about. Um, Historically, white feminism has been a safe space for white women to devise plans in order to better their own situation, their own position socially, at the expense of other marginalized women, of at the expense or simply ignoring the needs of other marginalized women or women who lived at the intersection of both womanhood and another or multiple others marginalized identities. We don't want that. We don't need that. That's white feminism, and in it is rooted in selfishness. It is also rooted in white supremacy, and and it is rejected by women who are who by the all the women who are left behind, ignored, or stepped on and over. So that was a little general, but I want to talk about what it looks like within movements that we create. So in LGBTQ, well, in queer movements in general, we do see the same tendencies, right? Um, White people, you know, at the top or in front of the cameras, etc., and black folks behind or like at the margins. We see white gay men, um, cis gay men, cis lesbians, um, at the top, in in the front, like at the front of the movements, and everybody else sort of falling behind, except when it's time to, um, to have demonstrations. Then these same people who are the respectable faces of the movement sort of disappear because they don't want the consequences. They don't want the smoke. They don't want to be the ones, being associated with protests, with um, potential violence, because sometimes that happens in protests. They don't want that smoke. They just want the rewards, right? But that's another thing. I suppose it's another subject, but let's stick to this one about the selfishness. Um, Y'all have probably heard about the LGB Alliance and other transphobic groups within um, the queer movement, right? People who hmm, people who want trans folks to be pushed to the side. Actually, they want to get rid of us. They don't even want us like in the margins. They want us to not exist. And because we don't fit their understanding, or we don't fit respectability politics, or whatever other reasons. Usually, I mean, let's just be honest, they're just transphobic. And any excuse is a good excuse in order to exclude us. So what happens is we all fight, right? And at some point, these people who are closer to power will be like, but y'all are distracting. Y'all are the reason why we are not moving forward enough or fast enough. And y'all are not really like us. Y'all are not really a part of us. You need to be excluded so that we can move forward. Thank you for your labor. No, they never say thank you for your labor, but um, okay, so step back and let us take it from here. That's the type of thing I'm talking about, right? And this is the type of stuff that did happen, not just with the LGBT Alliance, which, who is like super active today, but it was true um, 60 years ago already, in the 60s. So well, 50, 60 years ago, um, when black trans, black and black trans women and trans women of color in general were leading the movement, leading the revolts in the US. And and the cis gay, you know, cis gay men were like, let us have that now. Okay, we got this now. Thank you, but we got this. Once the hard work had been done, and I'm not saying that they did not do any type of work, but in that specific context, it was quite exploitative. It was, I wanted to say parasitic, but it's not exactly that because they also did some work, but they were, yeah, it was exploitative of them. If we narrow it down a bit further, then we have people like Blair White. I believe her name is Blair White. Blair something, who is a white conservative trans woman, um, who is like she's windmilling um, against non-binary people, and so that's her, and a whole bunch of people who I don't know if they refer to themselves that way, um, who are trans medicalists. So people who say, okay, you are not trans if you do not fit these specific criteria, and that includes dysphoria, gender dysphoria, body dysphoria. If you do not undergo some type of medical treatment for for HRT, replacement theory. Oh, not theory. Hormonal replacement therapy. There you go. And for most of them, that also includes surgeries, or at least one type of surgery, which is bottom surgery. And what is funny is that wherever people may be placed, um, on the social hierarchy, and however they may define themselves, there is always a way for them to exclude other people like them from their fight, right? Um, Let me give you an example. So I just talked about this Blair woman who is white, who is very binary, who could be cis-assumed, I suppose, um, who, what else? Like she fits or she tries to fit the stereotypical image of woman, right, in the West. This person says, I am legitimate as a trans woman. I am a real woman because I do fit all these standards. So she excludes non binary people. She excludes, um, I don't know if she excludes people who do not have bottom surgery. I don't know about her personally, but a lot, like it's not rare. There are women in that exact same situation who would exclude um, trans women who also are cis assumed, who also fit all the criteria for women except for bottom surgery, and would say this is not a woman because she still has a penis or she doesn't have an intention of getting rid of her penis. And then you would have women, trans women, who are cis assumed, fit all the binary criteria for women who do not have bottom surgery and would say, well, I am a real woman because I fit all these standards. My penis is okay because it's private. Um, but it's these ones over there who are not on hormones or who do not have breasts or insert whatever you like that they don't, that they're not concerned about because they already passed that or they've had the access um, to obtain those things. So basically, it's like, okay, wherever I am is what is legitimate. All of this is very, very, very biased. Not just biased, but it's very selfish. Okay, I am legitimate because me, right? And others who are a little less than me on that big scale, big hierarchy, they're not legitimate, and we need to step on them in order to prop me up. That's that's really the general idea here. And what that means is that there are people who are not truly invested in community work. They are not truly invested in advocacy for the entire community, for all trans people, all black trans people. What they want is to solidify their own privileges. What they want is affirmation that they are legitimate. It's affirmation that they are the good ones and everybody else can be stepped on because everybody else does not matter. Everybody else is not as important as they are, and everybody else has not done the work to be deserving of being where they are. It is so sick. So sick. But it's not uncommon, unfortunately. So, what are the consequences of that? I've already alluded to them. Um, but really, what that does is that keeps marginalized people on the margins or that pushes them away, like when they are moving towards a betterment of their situation, that pushes them down, pushes them a little further, that justifies why they are marginalized. It says, okay, you black trans women who maybe do not fit the standards that white trans women or white cis women have said, because you do not fit them, by your very nature, by your very identity, you do not deserve to reach liberation or well-being. Like it's not for you. So yeah, that justifies um, the discrimination then in turn, right? Um, so in a world that is in a Western world, whether you're in the U.S., you're in France, you're in like in Europe, we live among people who are socialized to see us as less. When in our movements we have people with tendencies like that, then we actually harm our own movements. We actually justify pain for other people, right? When we think, and I say we to be like extra generous because I don't put myself in that category, but as queer people, as trans people, as black trans people specifically, when we take these positions and decide that we are going to essentially crap on people who are just like us, except with that little difference, whatever it is, whether it's cis, you know, being cis assumed or their surgical status, etc., right? Whatever it is, whatever that small difference is, if we use that to justify their own marginalization, then we are giving extra power to people who see us as non legitimate in their spaces. And we can't complain if that's something we do, right? So that's why my advocacy for trans people includes non-binary people. And I'm going to be honest, I don't exactly understand everything about non-binary identities. It's something I'm still learning. But the fact that I personally don't understand all of it doesn't mean that I get to invalidate or push down or exclude non binary identities from the fight that I am leading for myself and for everybody else. People who are engaged in this behavior are really trying to solidify their own access and their own privileges. And they are not actually part of a movement to better others, but just themselves. So I think we should leave them out. I mean, honestly, they are not necessary to any type of movement. Because a movement that is based, that is founded in selfishness, is not a movement for growth. It's a movement for destruction, right? Um, we are not interested. I am personally not interested in a movement that would leave half of its members um, outside of, like, leave them unable to reach any desired benefit because they do not fit um, some standards, some, very arbitrary standards. I'm not interested in propping up somebody else's ego via a movement. I am not interested in consolidating a hierarchy because Because what? Because I want to feel better about myself. That's not that's not necessary for me. Um, if I have to crap on someone else to feel better about myself, that says a lot about who I am and how I understand myself um, to be, right? How low I actually feel I am. So yeah, um, I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think about this trans medicalist position. I want to know how you feel about that because you might not be as harmful and like like a caricature of the selfish um, quote unquote advocate. But you may also feel like, okay, well, I don't agree with the selfishness. I don't want to be selfish, but at the same time, you know, I do feel that trans means blah blah blah. Like, tell me, let me know. Tell me if you agree, if you disagree. Um, you know what? Hashtag FTN Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, or message me, whichever is easier and more enjoyable to you. And tag me in your answer. So, again, at FTN Pod. So use the hashtag, use the tag, um, whatever you like. I really would like to know what you think about that. So I'm gonna end here, and I'm gonna edit this and have some type of dinner. What time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna have some type of dinner. I'd love to have some ramen. Anyway, um, y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sending you much love from over here. Have a great day. Bye bye.